So, here we are back in T-Pose Am Jesus Christ. This is after about 5 hours of gameplay. I'm not using fast travel, so maybe that's why it's taking longer. On this main menu screen, it's kind of interesting. You got a Roman shield here that's fallen, and also a crucifix that's fallen. And I'm not sure. It looks like one of the arms of the crucifix is broken off. And then you've got the logo with the risen Christian Messiah. So they're trying to, give the message that, hey, the Christian Messiah was victorious over the Romans. So I'm not going to be providing your typical Christian perspective. Oh, and it looks like, I think that's the spear that's typically portrayed as puncturing his left side. Anyway, so I'm not going to be offering the typical Christian perspective. Mine is going to be based on the Caesar's Messiah thesis and the Flavian hypothesis by Cliff Carrington, and I think there's also a kind of a newer book that a lot of people are citing along those lines, but I haven't read it. Oh, also, excuse me, James, the Brother of Jesus by Robert Eisenman, and also his book, The New Testament Code. And just about all of the relevant contemporaneous literature to the New Testament, so-called. Anyway, let's continue. Testing, yep. Oh, now I got my achievements. People are saying people weren't getting their achievements, and now I've gotten a whole bunch of them. It looks like 6 of them so far. Alright. So, I have 380 faith points and 13,850 subs. Or followers. So...
They say nothing grows faster than a child when no one is looking.
What? I've never heard that saying.
Rabbi, is everything all right?
Yes, Andrew, Peter's mother-in-law is healed.
That's wonderful news.
Where will we go next?
Must head towards Jerusalem. So... But first, I have something important for you to do here in Capernaum. Oh, really?
Tell us, Master. We're ready.
Find those whose hearts are open. That's it. It's kind of vague, non-specific. Go around the town, find those whose hearts are open, let them know that the kingdom of heaven is near. I'll return to you soon.
You can tell who has Roman favor. They speak louder and walk faster.
Hey, you got any pot? Is that the guy who got married?
We must be cautious when interacting with Roman officials.
Not sure.
I need to buy some spices from the market.
Yeah, well, don't let me hold you up. What is that? It's a lid over a fire. So, according to Jewish law, you're supposed to have a railing or parapet. I think is the word parapet. Anyway, like a railing around or a low wall or something around the top of your roof so that someone can't fall and die or be injured from it. Oh, look, a little crop of dead sea oats. I don't know, what is that? You can't pet the goats. Press C to skip the long travel. Heck no, man, I'm going for it. How far is this? Let's go to the water's edge, see how far this is. So my guess is it's even on the other side of that mountain. I wonder if it'll let us walk the whole way. Let's see what the pilgrimage to Jerusalem is like from Galilee. I think I'm maxed out at 380 faith points. Tabga? I've never heard of that place. It's this little village. Can I take the boat? Nope. It'll be really interesting if they've gone to the trouble of modeling all of these little places along the way that aren't points of interest. Yes, we know, we visited Galilee, we know that. But it'll be interesting if they model all these places that are not points of interest in the Gospels. Like, why would you do that? I mean, I would do it for a nutter like me that would walk all the way to Jerusalem when he could fast travel. But, I mean, that would take, some dev team man hours to do that for no real apparent benefit. Especially since I can't, like, collect power-ups or magical artifacts or... And it's not a survival game where I need to collect food. What is this place? Just a little place to hang out by the seashore. Ginosar. Wonder if they actually like consulted biblical archaeology to find out which towns existed back then. Like, if I go to these towns, I should have the chance to speak a few words to some of these people and then get even more followers, right? Like, if I speak to a person, do they automatically become my follower? Probably not.
No man from our family has ever stood before the Sanhedrin.
Yeah, I've heard that before. So
A mother's prayers are heard even if her voice never rises.
What?
I need to buy fresh bread for dinner.
Yeah, well, be about your business. Jeez.
Do you know when the next caravan arrives? I need some supplies from the merchants.
I mean, you know, like, if you don't slavishly follow the main quest, then you should be able to attract even more followers so that you can be, like, the best Jesus that ever was, right? I mean, I hope that's not the temple I'm looking at right there, because I don't think the temple's supposed to be next to a lake. What is that? Oh, just a tree branch. Thought there was someone made a little catwalk. So, typically all travel to Jerusalem is considered an ascent in honor. But even if you don't inject the word in words in honor or even mention honor, then it is called an ascent or going up. Should check out that building over there too. Whoa! Magdala! Wow! Is this where Mary Magdalene is? I need to find her.
I dreamed of a river flowing from the temple, and all who drank were healed.
Oh, see? Because I didn't take fast travel, I get this.
The people grew quiet as he came forward. Some came to listen, some came to judge.
Oh, this is...
Others only wanted to see the man they had heard about. Then Jesus stepped up, looked at the crowd, and began to teach. No one lights a lamp only to hide it beneath a vessel. It is set high, so that all in the house may see its light. So it must be with you. You were not called to hide what is good, but to let it shine through your deeds. Do not let the light given to you be dimmed by fear, by pride, or by indifference. For what use is a lamp if no one sees its flame? And what use is a word if it does not change a life?
Oh,
If you show
man.
mercy, show it truly. If you speak truth, speak it without falsehood. If you pray, let
This
your
Mary
heart be
Magdalene
clean.
right here, I bet.
Then men shall see not your glory, but the goodness of God. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. For the one who receives the light faithfully, more light shall be given.
She's entering
Easy
into
for
the...
you to speak of goodness. Easy for you to speak of light. Easy when you have not fallen into darkness. When no one strikes you from every side. When no one spits at your face. When you do not hear curses from morning until night. You speak as one who is loved. Come then, I will show you what it is to be hated by all.
Are you afraid, Jesus?
Press to stun the demon, and then where's the portal now, though?
Are you afraid, Jesus?
Where's the portal? Oh, right here. There should be 7 of them, right? What the heck? Where'd she go? Do I have to do this 7 times in order to save Mary Magdalene? I can't get in here? I'm supposed to do this. Hold worship services in temples. Complete main quests. Perform miracles. Maybe she'll be outside. I don't think so, though. Where'd she go? See, I would have missed that if I didn't take the journey myself.
A mother's prayers are heard even if her voice never rises.
Yeah, we got that one. See, I thought I was going to be reading from the Scroll of Isaiah in that one, but... Yes, we know we visited Galilee. We know. What about this place over here? I guess I do have a map. Oh, check it out. The seat of Moses. Oh, dang it. I missed those two? There's a Pharisee here. Oh, I've already been to Cana. Nain. There's Nazareth. I think I'm going in the wrong direction to get these other ones. But I would really like to. There's another Pharisee there. And then here's Jerusalem down here. Quite a ways. And see, this is Titus's, Vespasian and Titus's, but Titus finishes it up. This is their the direction of their military campaign. It goes from Galilee down through Samaria and into Judea and to Jerusalem and the temple. This should be about where Ein Gedi or Qumran are here. And I guess this is where John the Baptist was. So, did I do the exorcism? Where's the person? Oh, okay. I think that's maybe Mary there. Mary Magdalene, that is. So I think I'm headed in the right direction. See, I mean, if you fast traveled and you skipped all this, you tried to speed run the Gospels, that would be lame. When these developers have made all this effort to create this world for you, I really wonder about these thatched roof huts that look like they're African. Oh, there's somebody there, but that's not Mary Magdalene.
Please, go away from me.
Remember, your obedience and faithfulness will bring salvation to many. Trust in my presence and the power that guides you.
Who's next?
The fig trees are bearing abundant fruit this season.
Where'd the guy go? I got more faith and more followers from that, but that's all I had to do was just cast out. Oh, this is the guy, isn't it?
Thank you for saving me.
Gideon? Walking on water, I missed that. Oh, it'll come later in your journey. Pharisee, healing of... I can get that Pharisee. And then there's a sermon I can do here, and a miracle of healing. And another exorcism. And Black Synagogue, Seat of Moses. The Black Synagogue, what? Gergesa Village, I think that was, I think there's like a whole bunch of demons there or something. So I am gonna, well, there's a Pharisee down here too. I am going to fast travel where I've already been in order to pick up some of these some of these achievements. Okay, so I need to head this way. There's a bit of visible level of detail switching on these trees that they could fix by just having them blend from one level of detail to another, like overlap the two levels of detail so that it gradually changes from one level of detail to the other. There's another exorcism here. Thought I did all this. Wasn't I here before? I don't know. Yeah, I was already here. So I guess I'm supposed to go around and... Where's the Pharisee? I want to find out where the Pharisee is. It's to the right somewhere. Back in here.
The Lord sees what is hidden, even when no word is spoken.
Where is it? Can I zoom in? Oh yeah. Is this the Pharisee? Probably not.
The presence of Roman soldiers reminds us of their authority.
The fields look lush after the recent
rain. Oh, is this the Pharisee praying in public and now he's gonna...
Did you see the new carpenter shop?
No. Where is this Pharisee at? He's like... right... Oh, there he is. What's up, my dude?
Fancy trying to crack a mental exercise inspired by ancient teachings? Who tricked his father Isaac into giving him the blessing meant for his brother? Absolutely.
Is that it?
Ready for a bit of puzzling as if you were tested by a Pharisee? What animal did Noah send out from the ark that returned with an olive leaf?
Titus the dove.
That's right! Feel like teasing your brain with a challenge that might have tested even a Pharisee. Who was thrown into the lion's den but survived thanks to God's intervention? Correct. I withdraw my challenge. You have spoken with a truth that leaves me silent.
So there's an exorcism in this direction.
The market is especially busy this morning.
Please, go away from me.
Remember, your obedience and faithfulness will bring salvation to many. Trust in my presence and the power that guides you.
Thank you for saving me.
Someone needs to be healed over here.
The servants of the Pharisee pushed me against the walls. They broke my head because they said I was defiling their path.
Yeah, right. That's like forbidden in Jewish law. Now what? Am I stuck? Hover over the affected area and press... Oh, okay.
The shepherd's sheep are
The pain
wandering
has
close
passed.
to the village.
Blessed are you, and let the Pharisees see that you have healed the man they despised.
The people grew quiet as he came forward. Some came to listen, some came to judge. Others only wanted to see the man they had heard about. Then Jesus stepped up, looked at the crowd, and began to teach. A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho.
See,
and
down
he
from
fell among
Jerusalem.
robbers. They stripped him, beat him, and left him half dead by the road. A priest passed that way. He saw the man and went on. Then a Levite came. He looked upon him and passed by as well. But then came a Samaritan, a stranger, despised by many. He saw the wounded man and was moved with mercy. He lifted him up and brought him to safety. Then he said, "Care for him, and whatever more is needed, I will repay when I return." Tell me then, which of these proved a neighbor to the man who suffered? The one who showed mercy. Go then and do likewise.
Ah! What have we to do with you, Jesus of Nazareth? Have you come to destroy us? I know who you are, the Holy One of God.
Are you afraid, Jesus?
Do you think there will be a good harvest this year?
The Roman occupation brings tension to our town.
I need to buy fresh bread for dinner.
The Roman taxes weigh heavily on our livelihoods.
So I need to head in this direction.
The weather is perfect for a walk today.
The Roman taxes are so high this year.
The prophet spoke
Have you
of
heard
days
the
like
news from
these,
Jerusalem?
when the hearts of many would tremble.
The aroma of freshly baked bread fills the air.
I heard the Roman soldiers pass through the village again last night.
Some say the Samaritans pray on the same mountain, but to the wrong ears.
Have you heard the news from Jerusalem?
The fields look lush after the recent rain.
I saw a group of travelers passing through the town square.
The Roman laws sometimes clash with our customs and beliefs.
Yeah, you don't say.
Do you know when the next caravan arrives? I need some supplies from the merchants.
No man from our family has ever stood before the Sanhedrin.
Black synagogue, seat of Moses. Even a seat of Moses, Horizon's use of basalt not only showcased local craftsmanship, but also gave the structure a solemn, enduring presence. Interesting. Never heard of that.
We should repair the fence before the animals stray
I
too
need
far
to
from the
buy
village.
fresh bread for dinner.
The fish in the river are plentiful this year. The fishermen are very happy.
That's the seat of Moses. Who's this?
Those who walk in his ways do not walk alone.
Seat of Moses refers to a stone chair located in the synagogue where religious leaders would sit and read from the Torah. Chair symbolized the authority of the person delivering the teachings, as Moses was considered the ultimate lawgiver in Jewish tradition. Still is. In the synagogues of Galilee, such as the one in, I don't know what this is, Chorazin? It always reminds me of a spice. This seat was a prominent feature and played a crucial role in the communal religious life, serving as the place from which religious laws and teachings were proclaimed.
The people grew quiet as he came forward. Some came to listen, some came to judge. Others only wanted to see the man they had heard about. Then Jesus stepped up, looked at the crowd, and began to teach. A sower went out to sow. Some seed fell by the road, and the birds came and devoured it. Some fell on rocky ground. It sprang up quickly, but when the sun rose, it withered, because it had no root. Some fell among thorns, and the thorns grew and choked it. But some fell on good soil, and it bore a great harvest. So it is with the word that comes to man. Some hear, but do not receive. Some receive with joy, but do not endure. And some hear, yet the cares of this world choke what is good within them. But blessed is the one whose heart is good soil. For the word is living, and where the heart is open, it shall bear fruit. He who has ears to hear, let him hear.
I'm surprised he didn't say something about Moses' seat here. Because he has a saying where he says the I think it's the scribes and Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. Do what they tell you to do, but do not do as they do. No, in fact, I think it says everything they tell you to do. Let me see. Yeah. Matthew 23, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All, therefore, whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do, but do not ye after their works, for they say and do not. So, so practice and observe whatever they tell you, but not what they do. So no Christian does this. No Christian goes to the descendants of the Pharisees to find out what they would tell you to do. Right? It just doesn't happen. You don't see them in the synagogue. You don't see them speaking to good Orthodox, learned rabbis to find out whatever they tell you and to practice and observe it. No Christian does that. So they just completely disregard Jesus' teaching in that respect. And it says, for they preach, but they do not practice. So then he just goes and he accuses, like, just a big blanket statement accusing all the Pharisees and all the scribes. A scribe is a copyist. There's nothing hypocritical in being a scribe. Now, Jeremiah, there are some words there about the lying pens of the scribes, but that doesn't mean that all scribes are lying, especially when the whole intent of being a scribe was to copy faithfully. And even if you intentionally did not copy faithfully, someone who knew the text, which would be a rabbi, would detect that there was an error in the manuscript, and that manuscript would get buried because it would be considered useless, because it would be a flawed, improperly copied text. So I don't know why the scribes get lumped in as hypocrites in this, when they're people performing a profession, doing a job. They're just copying. They're basically human Xerox machines, you know? So anyway, then it says, one of these accusations, they do all their deeds to be seen by men, for they make their phylacteries broad and their fringes long. The whole purpose of the ritual fringes, the tzitzit, is to be seen and to be reminded of the commandments. The whole purpose of it is to be seen. So they make their phylacteries broad, so it's saying they make their tefillin big, just to be seen by others that they're doing it. But the whole thing was already very visible, even if it was a small box on their forehead containing various verses from the Torah, maybe the Tanakh, I'm not sure. The whole purpose of it was to be seen, so it would still be seen by people. You would see something like that on somebody's head, just like when somebody's wearing night vision goggles, a soldier's wearing night vision goggles, you could see it. It's so obvious, because a forehead is supposed to look a certain way, and if there's something there, you're going to see it. So, and by the way, here, note that he does not criticize the wearing of tefillin. He doesn't criticize the wearing of tefillin, which comes from Jewish oral tradition. The I guess the manufacture and the wearing of tefillin is not something explicitly laid out in the written Torah. So here, whoever wrote this, they had an opportunity to once again criticize Jewish oral tradition, but they did not do so, either because they approved a Jewish oral tradition or because they were so ignorant about Jewish law that they did not know that tefillin come from Jewish oral tradition. And they love their place of honor at feasts and the best seats in the synagogues and salutations in the marketplaces and being called rabbi by men. I've actually had, I think my rabbi actually asked me to, or suggest that if I remember correctly, suggest that I call him by his name, not explicitly, but through, the dialogue. It was it seemed like he was implying that I could call him by his name, that I didn't have to, call him rabbi, rabbi, rabbi all the time. My memory might be failing, but I think that's the case. I certainly know that there have been other figures who rightfully had titles and that I could have referred to by their titles in Orthodox Judaism, but who seem to prefer that I would just call them by their name. And the thing is, like, a lot of these teachings that target the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the scribes, calling them hypocrites, lumping them right in there with hypocrites, just blanket generalizations. Like the Christians who receive these condemnations of these classes of people very rarely turn to the literature produced by those people to see what's there. If they did, they would find out that a lot of the seemingly gotcha moments that they've got against them, or the gotcha teachings that they've got against them, are already found in the literature produced by these people. But, I mean, you don't see Christians reading the Mishnah or the Talmud. Maybe some pastors or ministers or priests might be doing it, but you can be sure that your typical Christian is going to wonder why their pastor is reading the Talmud, because they don't even know that there's more than one Talmud, that there's the Babylonian Talmud and then there's the Jerusalem or Palestinian Talmud. So they just hear Talmud and they think Babylonian Talmud and they say, oh, well, that comes from Babylon, so it must be evil. When it's just the location where it was either written or compiled. That doesn't make it evil. It just means that, Jews lived in different places at different times. If there was Jewish literature that was written in Jerusalem, Christians wouldn't be more inclined to read it just because it came to Jerusalem, but because some of that Jewish literature has the word Babylonian attached to it, they immediately think it's evil based on, I don't know, the book of Revelation. They're silly superstitions and taboos born out of illiteracy. So, so it says, but you are not to be called rabbi, for you have one teacher, and you are all brethren. So I guess he's saying, but it's okay to call me rabbi. For you have one teacher. Well, who would that be? Well, that would be Jesus, right? And you are all brothers, but you are not to be called rabbi. So then he turns around and he basically says, but it's all okay to call me rabbi, because I don't enjoy being called rabbi the way, those Pharisees do. Um, and call no man your father on earth, for you have one Father who is in heaven. No Christian does this. No Christian who has a father does this. And we know that Catholics call their priests father, so they completely ignore this teaching from Jesus. Neither be called masters, for you have one master, the Christ. I don't think that was observed by the early Christians who were slaves in the Roman Empire. Yeah. And then this is just ridiculous. But woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you shut the kingdom of heaven against men. How would they do that? For you neither enter yourselves, nor allow those who would enter to go in. How would they do that? Like, how would they be stronger than God, that they could shut the entrance to the kingdom of heaven? And then here, for you traverse sea and land to make a single proselyte. And when he becomes a proselyte, you make him twice as much a child of probably Hades there. The word hell has no place in either the so-called Old Testament or the so-called New Testament. It comes from the Norse, or in other words, Viking mythos or pantheon of gods, of pagan gods. Hell is the Norse goddess of the underworld, right? So somehow this Viking terminology found its place or its way into King James 1611, the King James version of 1611, I guess. But in the Greek, I'm almost, just guessing, I'm pretty sure that's Hades. No, in this case it's Gehenna. So it's not Hades. So Gehenna is like a charged term. It comes from Gebar Hinnom, which is the valley of the sons of Hinnom. So how it becomes this like eternal place of I don't know, torment or something in the afterlife is, I find it really curious. You do find Gehinnom, I think, mentioned in Jewish oral tradition after a certain point, but it's a name that's tied to a family and to a geographical place. So it doesn't make any sense that it would become this cosmological destination of the dead. It's I'm going to use the word, it's very queer. It's very queer. It's so strange that it's queer. If it had said Hades here, then that would be the abode of the dead that's just kind of dark and dreary and nothing really happens there and the dead are asleep and there's no kind of fiery or eternal torment there. But some say that Gehinnom or Gehenna was a garbage pit that burned all the time and that where worms or maggots never died or something like that. Anyway, there's a guy here on YouTube who I think goes into detail about Gehenna, but anyway, personally, I'm not afraid of Gehenna. So, but hear this charge that really Pharisees got nothing better to do than to travel the sea and the land to make a single convert. It's really not in keeping with the Torah, and I think it's kind of ahistorical because Jews never really did reach out to people to make converts, as far as we can see, because you were either like Jewish or not, or you were an Israelite or not. And anyway, so then there's more criticism here. So he's got lots to say about Pharisees, and because of that, Christians have been programmed against hearing any teaching from a traditional Jew or an Orthodox Jewish rabbi. And so they get this skewed worldview that all inspiration comes from the Gospels or from the Christian scriptures, and that nothing that is said by Torah observant Jews is of any inspirational value. And that's because they're illiteracy. Because if you read something like the Pirkei Avot, the Ethics of the Fathers, which I believe is found in the Mishnah, you would see that there's inspiration there. There are things of benefit there. If you read some of the discussion about how to obey various commandments of the Torah, or about various ethics, you would see that there are things of benefit there. But the Christian mindset needs to believe that all truth and all inspiration came from Jesus and from nowhere else. And it's just nonsense. It's a belief that only survives within the churchian or Christian echo chamber, right? If a Christian were to actually intellectually venture out of their echo chamber and read like some of the extra canonical literature, read some of the Jewish literature contemporaneous to the so-called New Testament, they would even read the histories of Flavius Josephus, they would see that there are things to be learned that are of benefit outside the Christian echo chamber. So, anyway, back to this. What else we got going on here? Oh yeah, we got to head over here. It's going to be a little walk. We can follow the coastline. And then I think we'll stop after we do what needs to be done at this village. But it's just kind of shocking how successful the Christian scriptures have been in turning Gentiles against the Jewish people who produced, according to the Christian Gospels at least, their Savior, their Messiah. You know, like, do you think that Jesus, the Jesus of the Christian Gospels, could have been born out of the lawless chaos that is non-specific Gentile culture? See, like, Christians think that they're experts on what the Messiah is, yet if it wasn't for the Jewish people, they never would have even, like, embraced the concept of a Messiah, because Gentiles certainly weren't expecting the Messiah until they encountered the Jewish people and learned about this term, Messiah, that's in the Hebrew Tanakh, which really is a rather mundane term. I personally wonder if it was Gentiles who blew up this term Messiah and turned it into an eschatological figure. But because in the Hebrew Tanakh, the so-called Old Testament, Messiah just refers to an earthly human king of the Davidic line from the children of Israel. It can refer to one of the high priests of Israel, and it's even used to refer to Cyrus the Great of Persia, a non-Jew who liberated the Jewish people from the Babylonian captivity and gave them leave and sponsored their rebuilding of the temple in Jerusalem. Is this the place? This isn't even the place. This is just a stop along the way. Who's this guy?
Shalom.
That's it? That's all you got to say?
Shalom.
That's Philip. He's one of the, so... Is it just not...
I greet you with humility.
Bartholomew, or some say Bartolomai. He's supposed to be one of my disciples too, so what are we waiting for, guys? Why aren't you following me here? That's kind of strange. What are you guys doing here? I guess we'll be back to pick up you babes later. Babes being like a, you know, a Christian term. So what some people don't get about the Torah, the law given by God through Moses to the children of Israel and by extension to the rest of humanity, although not all of its commandments are incumbent upon non-Jews any more than like certain commandments having to do with women are incumbent upon men, any more than certain commandments regarding the high priest are incumbent upon, I don't know, a leper or a mamzer. A mamzer is like an ill-begotten person or person who's born out of a union, like a forbidden sexual union, I believe. So, but what they, I think, don't get is that the priests, Levites, and the elders of the Israel are given authority to expound upon the Torah. So the Torah was given to the children of Israel. It wasn't given to the Creator, right? The Creator doesn't, like at Sinai, I don't think that the Creator got signed up to obey the Torah. The Torah was given for human beings. So, some people believe that, like, God should be interpreting and expounding upon the Torah, I guess through revelation and prophecy, or a voice from heaven, like all the time, when he's already given the authority to do this to human beings. And like people, I think people don't quite understand that. They don't understand that mere human beings can comment on or expound upon a divinely given law.
They judged her quickly, but none among them was without sin.
That's an added narrative that's not found in the earliest Greek manuscripts, I think. That story about the adulteress that I think is found in the Gospel of John in the later manuscripts. Region known for its Gentile population, unlike Jewish settlements where pigs were considered unclean. Villages like Gergesa engaged in pig breeding as part of their local economy. Casting demons out into a herd of pigs. I'm not certain that that's actually accurate.
The weather is perfect for a walk today.
Okay, I'm supposed to be doing something here. Is that it? Just visit it? There's nothing to actually do here? What's the whole purpose of being here, then? Just to see pigs? See, the thing is that this is in the borders of biblical Israel, right? So there shouldn't be any people breeding pigs here. If there are, they probably are Gentile occupiers, like Romans. And where are the pigs? I don't see any pigs here. I don't hear any little oinkers. Maybe down here by the water?
Did you see the new carpenter shop?
I think that's a different town you're talking about. Yeah. Excuse me. I don't see any pigs here. I'm not sure what the purpose of modeling all of this was, except to make a point about pigs. Like, you know, the typical Christian point. Bacon. Right, because they think that Jesus thus declared all foods clean. Where the law doesn't recognize pigs as food. But Gentiles do. So then they need Jesus to declare that their pig is clean. When I think like anybody who's seen like a trichina worm infestation in somebody's brain knows that pig isn't clean. So, anyway, we'll stop here. Make sure I'm saved.